Hey everybody. Sorry it's been a while since we've updated you on Seasons of Grey, but as most of you know, the film is finished. We spent the last couple of months talking with a number of distributors about releasing the film, and so we hope to be able to come to you here in the coming weeks with an announcement about when and where you'll be able to see Seasons of Grey. In the meantime, we had a chance earlier this week to interview Alex Kendrick. He was here in town, and so we went down to the Angelica Film Center and sat down with Alex and interviewed him about his upcoming film, Courageous. Now, Courageous is the latest release from Sherwood Pictures, who are the creators of Facing the Giants and Fireproof. So check out Courageous when it opens on September 30th, but first, check out this interview with Alex.
We literally prayed about a year for a story. We've learned the difference between a good idea and a God idea. I've got good ideas. That's not what I want to do. I want to tell a story that God pours His favor on. So He led us to fatherhood, and the basic premise of Courageous is you have these men in law enforcement working at the sheriff's office, deputies. After a tragedy, one of them wakes up to the fact that being a good enough dad is not good enough. It's not what God calls him to do. He searches Scripture and he ends up writing a resolution of what kind of dad he wants to be, pulling those principles from Scripture. He gets his other buddies at the sheriff's office together and he says, I need a favor. I want you to help keep me accountable to be this kind of dad. You know, in our previous films, when we learned people saying that my giant was this struggle or that struggle, and I was inspired to take that to God and say, I'm going to worship you either way. I'm going to depend on you either way. For them to begin taking steps to overcome that with the Lord's help, that was success for Giants. For Fireproof, hearing about marriages that were restored, vows that were renewed, you know, in some cases, people that were having affairs, breaking them off when they realized how crucial and holy marriage is in God's sight. For us, that's success, changing and impacting our culture for good. And so for this one, we're going after the hearts of men. But we're finding in the pre-screenings that the wives and the moms, the women who see this film are cheerleading it just as much as anybody else, because most of them want to see a relationship with their dad or their husband's relationship with their children or their brother's relationship with his kids. You know, they want to see those succeed. Our first movie was a $20,000 budget. Second one was $100,000. Fireproof was $500,000. The production budget on Courageous was a little over $1 million, but what you see on the screen is $2 million, and that's after all the effects, music, everything, you know, color correction has been completed. We had 1,600 people help us with this movie, and with so many people serving, we're able to take that $1 million or $2 million and do what normal people would do with $8 to $10 million, and I love that because we're able to maximize the use of these funds. When the film is done, the people you see on the screen become ambassadors for the purpose of the film. And so each of the men in our film can speak to fatherhood and its importance. And as we go share the purpose behind this movie, we can say not only is this thing going to entertain you, but it's going to inspire you and it may challenge you in some ways. And so it's important as a director to work with other people who understand and believe in the purpose of the project. You cast a vision and you get such a unity of people that they're not just interested in making a movie, they believe in the whole purpose behind it, and because they're so passionate about it, there's this synergy that you have on set, that you're praying together, you're laughing together, and you go through these long days together, and at the end of the day when you rejoice in the changed lives, you do it together. As I walk with God, I have a clearer sense of a calling and a drive to do what I do. And I think all of us, God would place a call in our lives to use the gifts and talents that He has equipped you with, to develop those and use those for His glory. And for some, it will be making films or some other area. That's, in a sense, my ministry. And I've learned He has slowly stripped me and my pride out of the process, where He reminds me I can't do anything without Him, which has been good for me, a little bit painful, but good for me. But as I fulfill what I believe He called me to do, I found a tremendous joy in that. As difficult as it can be at times, but there's a real joy for me in doing that.